right, True Go here for another episode for some more economic updates for everybody to let y'all know what happened last week and over the weekend and what's going on currently this week. Still got tariffs on play, still got big things happening. It's still messy overall in the economic world and the global markets. So I'm about to brief you on all that right now. All right, let's start with Powell testimony that happened last week. He's still on the restrictive side. We see that inflation is still high after the data release. It's not going nowhere at the moment. We see that we're not about to have no interest rates no time soon until data proves that it's on par or aligned with their goals. So don't expect no interest rates happening no time soon. We also see that Powell stated PCE data is more of a better gauge for inflation, despite CPI being higher than expected. So expect that to be coming up in the next month and seeing where the data lines at and see where the comments or the forward guidance are at that time. But right now, we just be playing a patience game as we see. Despite Powell being restrictive on his monetary policy and keeping interest rates at where they are at the moment, technically being at a pause, we see that Trump still wants interest rates to be lowered despite his tariffs plans because he feels like it would be aligned. Which isn't the case. It would actually worsen things as it already is at the moment. So we see that not happening no time soon. We see more terrorist wars happening with other countries and more retaliation. So all eyes are still on that. So we also see Trump and Putin currently in negotiation with ending the war in Ukraine. So geopolitical tensions are decreasing a little bit, but it's still up there, especially with all these tariffs still coming into play. So watch for safe havens like gold, JPY, and Swiss start to gain some more traction as things start to get a little bit sticky. So all eyes are still on that. Also on the 13th, we seen that he had a big plan for reciprocal tariffs, but it didn't come into play as we expected it to. And so we've seen a lot of decrease happening with the dollar because people expected him to sign. But that will be coming later on throughout time as we continue to see what plays in all of this. All eyes are still on that too at the moment. It's still to be dated, but we do got some dates from him at the moment as far as when it's going to happen. We see that pretty much a different form of tax is also playing a part with Europe too. So we got some tensions happening between the EU and the US. Things getting a little sticky with them at the moment. It's a lot going on. Trump did announce that EU lowered their tariffs to 2.5%, so he considered that a big win overall. He do want manufacturing to be happening more in the US. On top of that, we see that car tariffs will be coming in. We already got steel and aluminum already coming in too. On top of that, that will affect the overall industrial market, especially in the car industry. We can see prices rising up pretty quickly. We see also chips and big pharma on top of that. And according to Trump, he could start reciprocal plans for tariffs on April 2nd. So he already dated when he's going to be doing this. So we got a month and a half for this to happen. It's about to be less than a month and a half. So we about to see what happens with the markets and the global markets as they anticipate tariffs to come into play that are going to affect other economies and also our economy too. And he don't expect any exemptions on top of that, so all plays is still in effect as far as what he already have with his tariffs for each country. We can see that he don't want US to make any deals as far as the steel industry with Japan, and we also can see that BRICS is still getting some flames. If they don't, stop what they're doing with trying to push the dollar to the side, he will have 100% tariffs on all of them. So there's still some tension still going on between BRICS and the US as far as with Trump. All right, let's go ahead and break down what's happening with the economic calendar for this week. As we see, we got some Fed speakers coming up, and we also got RBA cash rate and the interest rate decision pretty much today. We got UK unemployment data and employment change. We got French CPI for the 17th. On the 18th, we see that we got economic sentiment for German. We got Canadian CPI. We got some speakers on that day too. We got Japanese machinery orders. Australian with their wage price index, and we also got NZ rate decision and their statement too. So that all eyes gonna be on that too. UK core CPI year over year. So we got some inflationary numbers coming in on top of that from the England side. On the 19th, it's pretty light. We got US housing stats. We got the FOMC meeting minutes. So I don't really expect too much change from that as far as with their tone and their forward guidance. We got Australian unemployment rate on top of that with their change and employment change. And we also got Bank of Canada interest rates for their 5-year and 1 year. On the 20th, we got the US jobless claims. And we also see that we got Eurozone with their consumer confidence. We got some speakers on that day on top of that. We got some crude oil inventories coming in. And we also got Japanese CPI, their inflationary numbers too. UK retail sales, and pretty much it for that day. And we have the 21st. We got some PMI for the French coming in and German. On top of that, along with Euro, we see that we got UK services with their PMI, and we also got Canadian retail sales coming in on top. We got US S&P services PMI. So we got a lot of PMI data coming in on that day, and we also got US existing homes and the sentiment too. So all that being said, it's gonna be a pretty crazy week. We got all these inflationary numbers and interest rate decisions coming in. So everybody make sure they have all their risk management in place, so y'all ain't losing no money, and just stay aware. So that's all the data and all the news that I have for y'all today. True goes out. Good luck, y'all.